Good morning, everybody. How is everyone doing on today? I thought I would do something a little bit different today. And the reason why I'm doing it just a little bit different is because I want to talk to everybody about fasting for the new year and detoxing. I did a video that I'm actually, it should be removed um, because I felt like my approach was a little bit too harsh. And one of the things that I don't want to do is offend anybody. So I'm not doing a juice show, but I am drinking juice from what I made the other day. And that was the celery, cilantro, spinach, apple, Granny Smith apples, pears, and pineapples with a whole lemon with the peel on it. So that part of the video will remain. But this is a part two of that video for those of you who really want to find out what am I doing to my body when I'm fasting and what is going on with the body when you're fasting, right? So I want to move right along with that. Excuse me, I am still a little bit, got some congestion going on because of me recovering from COVID. And so I just want to share with y'all in a calmer way, calmer setting, and hopefully you'll be able to receive it. So I'm just going to start all over again. I'm at 1 minute and 40 seconds here. I'm in my kitchen still. But again, I'm not going to do a juice show today. I'm just going to talk to us and give us some good information on for a lot of people who are starting the fast with their churches, and for some people who just like to fast, who want to fast. I'm not giving too much of my opinion today. I'm going to give y'all some facts that will help us to be better, to feel better, to get the weight off of us, to get closer to God, because that's what fasting is really all about for believers anyway. Don't have anything to do with how anybody else does anything. All I know is my walk with God is very important to me, and this juice show and the information that I give is very important as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and open up with this. Happy New Year to everyone. Please share this with your pastor and church family and friends from everywhere. Uh, this is very important, so share it. This has something to do with the biochemistry of the body, the inner workings of the body, and mainly when we're fasting, what we're doing, and the effects that it will have on our organs. All right? So, this is a new year, and many, many people will embark on a church fast not knowing why and what the fast will eventually do to the body as well as the spirit. We obey leadership because that is what we are taught to do. I will endeavor on today to help us obey leadership and not be destroyed for lack of knowledge at the same time, because that's very important, and especially for baby Christians and people who've never done a fast before. I know that I mentioned in the video that my very first fast, I didn't get any guidelines, and so that's the whole purpose of this, trying to give guidelines for leadership to pass on to the congregants so that people will understand and know, oh, this is what we're doing. So there's a scripture in Isaiah 58, 6 through 12, and this is from the Message Bible. And this is a type of fast as well as fasting from food. But this fast is the one that God gave to Isaiah to give to the people. And this is very different from that particular fast that most churches will call for their congregation to do. This is the kind of fast day I'm after, to break the chains of injustice, get rid of exploitation in the workplace, free the oppressed, cancel debts. What I'm interested in seeing you do is sharing your food with the hungry, inviting the homeless poor into your homes, if you're led by the Spirit to do so, putting clothes on the shivering ill-clad, being available to your own families. Do this and the lights will turn on, and your lives will turn around at once. Your righteousness will pave your way. The God of glory will secure your passage. Then when you pray, God will answer. You'll call out for help, and I'll say, here I am. A full life in the emptiest of places, because I think that's what all of us want, a full life in this life. If you get rid of unfair practices, quit blaming victims, Quit gossiping about other people's sins. If you are generous with the hungry and start giving yourselves to the down and out, your lives will begin to glow in the dark. Your shadowed lives will be bathed in sunlight. I will always show you where to go. I'll give you a full life in the emptiest of places, firm muscles, strong bones. You'll be like a well watered garden, a gurgling spring that never runs dry. You'll use the old rubble of past lives to build anew. Rebuild the foundations from out of your past, and you'll be known as those who can fix anything. Isn't that amazing? To be known as a person that can fix anything. That's in Isaiah 58, verses 6 through 12. You will restore old ruins, you will rebuild and renovate, make the community livable again. Fasting unto God is one of the most beautiful weapons of warfare we have ever received from God. And you can go in the book of Daniel, and in the first couple of chapters, it's going to talk about the fast that Daniel went on to, one, he was in captivity, and so he could not eat what was given to him. He lived in the king's palace, and they were going to be serving the king. But one thing that Daniel had been taught from his youth was that, and he was a young man still, but he knew that it was a certain way that he needed to eat. And in order for him to be able to work in an environment that he was not accustomed to, because he was enslaved. And so he asked for permission to be able to eat differently. And a lot of people call that the Daniel fast. But Daniel actually fasted 10 days on this particular fast and 21 days on a different fast. But those two fasts that he did were for different reasons. And so I'll explain some things to us as we go along. Fasting guidelines are pretty straightforward. Fasting from food and praying during a fast will give accelerated answers to prayer, healing to our bodies, and peace to our minds. Knowing how to fast is very key. Fasting guidelines are pretty straightforward. You can do a 1 day fast with no food but just water. You can do a 3 day fast with water if you are able to. But please know that when you are fasting, your body is releasing waste from it, not just bowel waste, but other waste products from the inner workings, from your liver, from your glands, from your hormones, from cells, that all of that is being cleansed off during a fast, and you need water to flush all of that off. Whatever you do, whenever you're fasting, you must drink plenty of water. Then there are partial fasts. There's a 10-day fast. Don't know how your church or how God is leading you to fast, but do your own research and make sure that you don't fast blindly. Somebody even asked me during Thanksgiving, should they do a 40-day fast? A 40-day fast is something that should be approached under doctor's care, because you've got to know what's going on in your body. Are you on any medication? What kind of fast are you going to do for 40 days? I know a couple of years ago, a friend of mine and we did a 40-day fast, but it was from 6 a.m., 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening. And one of the things that the Lord directed me to do was eat before I start my fast because of my work schedule, how intense my work can be. Sometimes it's very physical. And so he said, eat. The fast doesn't start till 6 a.m. So get up early enough and prepare your food and eat at 6. It was hard for me because I didn't do that before. And so now I've gotten a little bit more wisdom that it is okay. When you start your fast, whatever fast that you're going to go on, get some wisdom and ask your leadership or read some information on fasting to make sure that you get the best out of the fast, but also you're taking care of your body. That's the most important thing. That when you come off of the fast, you don't get sick because of the toxins that are still lying in the body, that you've not drank enough water and eaten the proper foods to flush off those toxins that the body's going to be putting off, okay? There are partial fasts where we're directed to fast a meal or two along with eliminating things that we normally would do. Fasting is not just fasting food, but along with fasting to clear your mind for the year. What you're going to be doing is fasting um, drugs, alcohol, caffeine, binge living, your phone, your TV, the internet, even for married couples that agree together to abstain from sex during the fasted time schedule and return once the fast is broken for that day. You've got to get wisdom in this because fasting is a very serious spiritual part of a believer's life. But incorporating prayer and Bible study to replace these activities is very important as well. I want to talk about what is happening while we are fasting. And basically, fasting, you're detoxing your body. You're going to hear that a lot. So, moving right along, this is one of the most dreaded times of the new year, if we're honest. I know it was for me. You can't leave the church because the church is going on the fast and come back when the fast is over. But for me, it was, oh my gosh, it was to get your mind ready to fast for 30 days. Or 21 days, whatever your church was calling for or is calling for. For many people, because we're asked to embark on tithing our food to God, we're offering to Him how much and what we're choosing to eat as a way of thanksgiving for the rest of the year to Him. Basically, what that is saying is, you tithe your money. Some people don't have an income, so they tithe time. They give their time to work in the house of God, or they give their time volunteering in different places. And that is how they tithe unto God. There's so many ways to do it because God is not a taskmaster. He's not going to make life hard for us. He's going to give us ways that we can honor Him with whatever we have to honor Him with. But one of the greatest ways that we can honor Him is with our food. And that's where fasting comes in. And so you're giving Him at the beginning of the year your food for a certain amount of time. And you're saying, God, I'm offering this to you as a tithe, as an offering of food to carry me for the rest of the year. Now, that's not saying that you don't fast for other times in the year, but this is one way to say, this is off the top, God. I'm going to give this to you because I love you and I need clarity. I need help. And I am reading my notes, guys. And so that's why I'll look down on occasion. If done properly, the benefits are amazing. You get clarity of thought, you get answers to prayer, there's a closeness to God, weight loss takes place, relationships are healed. Even if the relationships don't go back to you interacting with people, but you're forgiving people during this time. And I'm sure they're going to forgive you as well because, they're in our walk with God in Matthew 7, it talks about when you forgive others, God will forgive you of your trespasses. In Matthew 6, it says, forgive me of my trespasses or my sins or my faults as I forgive others of theirs. That's a very key component to part of the fast. I'm looking to the side with my camera because I really don't know exactly where the camera is in my tablet, but I'm going to move right along. Even if, like I said, if relationships don't go back to what they once were, you have forgiven people and you can go on and they can go on with their life because it is a miserable thing to think that you're doing a fast, but you're not forgiving people. Then I want to say that that might not be wise. You might really need to go to God and ask Him to help you with that area of your life so that your fast can give you victory. Because it's nothing like doing something with the principles of God, but you don't see the results that you thought that you were going to receive. And that's what fasting is about, getting your mind on straight, getting you together so that you will be able to make sure that you have victory, right? um, Physical healings are manifested all because we're denying ourselves to seek God and receive His wisdom for the rest of the year. There's something else that I want to say too. If you're on medication, that's why you do make sure that you talk to your doctor and let them know that the church is calling you on a fast. But also make sure that maybe your fast would be a little bit different. Maybe the foods that you choose to eat, you still eat and take your medication, but the foods that you choose to eat are different than what you would normally do all year. Let's say in the morning for your breakfast, if you can have eggs, add avocado with your eggs. Avocado is going to flush the toxins off of your liver and help your liver to filter um, that bacteria that's gotten in your system, the toxins that are in your system. So you may do your fast just a little bit differently, but you may change some things. Normally, if you eat fried foods, normally bake your food along with taking your medication. You have to have wisdom. And so there's a lot of things that we need to do in this season to protect ourselves and not do more damage to ourselves. Amen. But whatever you do, drink your water. I know even some people that are on fluid pills and you can only have a certain amount of water a day. Then make sure that you follow the guidelines of your doctor, but make sure you do get the water to flush out the toxins. Make sure that you eat your vegetables, excuse me, to flush out the toxins. Okay? Let's find out what is happening to our bodies as we juice as well as eat our ingredients. And for the days we will be fasting and detoxing, there are some key things that are going to be happening to you while you fast. The liver is the body's filtering system. Now, I want you to, because I did this video once and I'm redoing it. But once I went over this information, you know what I found out? Whenever I pick up anything to eat it, my liver is saying, please make sure that you drink water. Please make sure that you eat your green vegetables. Like yesterday, I had some crab legs, and I always fix my own dipping sauce, which I use coconut oil, red pepper, some salt, some baking soda, um, a little bit of, what else do I put in there? Oh, aminoflavonoids. And I mix all of that up. I heat it up. It's excellent with my crab legs. But I heard my liver saying, but where's my vegetables? Because I hadn't had any vegetables. I had potatoes and scrambled eggs for breakfast. The crab legs were for my dinner. And so I fixed me some Brussels sprouts with some carrots that came in the bag in the frozen food section. Baked them in the oven for 25 minutes. And I'm telling y'all what, they were already pre-seasoned and everything. And they were fantastic. And so I really realize that after you get this information, you're going to hear your liver talking to you and encouraging you. Please feed me, right? Please help me to get the toxins off of your body so you can feel better, so you can be healed. So I'm going to move right along. And so detoxing and fasting is going to affect your liver and your other systems in the body. Remember, in one of the shows, we talked about the systems in the body. And so I want us to understand that you've got to love yourself. Love the temple where the Spirit of God lives. That's that's what these shows are all about. I care for you, God cares for you, and I believe you care for you. But sometimes when we don't know what to do, we'll continue to do the same thing. And when we do that, Albert Einstein says that that's insanity. And we're not going to get the results that we're looking for because we haven't changed or tweaked something. And um, Albert Einstein was he was a physicist. And so he worked on things that would help with making sure that certain systems worked in the earth. And so I'm understanding that the foods that we eat help the systems in the body to work better. Okay? The liver is the body's filtering system. Like the oil filter for our engines in our cars or lawnmowers or anything that has an engine to it, the liver is that filter. Like, when you if you have a car, your car has an oil filter, but it also has air filters to filter out anything that could hinder the proper movement of that vehicle. And so the oil filter keeps debris from touching the engine. If it gets to the engine, any debris that, when that car is moving, you're going past dirt. Sometimes you're going past dust, gravel, all types of different systems are coming up around your engine, but the oil and that the oil filter filters any of that debris from getting into your engine. The liver is that filter to the rest of the organs and especially to your blood. And blood is circulating throughout our entire body. So the liver, if we take proper care of it, and that's what this video is about, because fasting helps the liver to detox and get rid of some of those poisonous toxins and things that we've eaten all year long. I'm going to keep going. The liver is the filtering system to this complex body that God has given us responsibility over. We will take all the information we're learning today and use it as the guidebook for detoxing and fasting. The liver is the gateway to the immune system. It is the largest organ of the body. It plays several key roles in metabolism. What is metabolism? Metabolism, pronounced metabolism, is the chemical reactions in the body cells that change food into energy. So whenever we eat anything, it's going to give us a type of energy. Some foods we eat drain our energy. Too much sugar, we'll get a high and then we'll get a low. And so a lot of preservatives do different things to us, changing the energy because we've eaten something that the body is trying to use for energy, but it can't. And so these episodes, these juice shows are to help us to make sure that we put the right things, the right nutrients, nutritious foods in the body to get the results that we want. Our bodies need this energy to do everything from moving to thinking to growing. Specific proteins in the body control the chemical reactions of metabolisms. One of the liver's roles through the filtering process is to detoxify the blood. So if the filter, which is the liver of our body, if that filter is working properly when we give it the right conditions, which is nutritious foods, then not only will the liver filter all the other organs and cells in the body and systems in the body, but it's also going to detoxify the blood. The liver filters the blood that comes in through the gastrointestinal tract or the GI tract, and that GI tract is from our mouth to our anus or our butthole, where our bowels are eliminated. So that's our gastrointestinal tract. Did you know the liver filters up to a quart of blood a minute? The liver, it is filtering because, again, it's a filter for the rest of the body, but it filters a quart of blood a minute. Hence, and you're going to hear me say hence a lot, but guys, that's why drinking water is important. That's why feeding your body greens and a salad and fruits and nuts and seeds and vegetables and beans and lentils. I'm going to give you a list of foods. You can stop the video and start it again, but write these foods down. That's going to help your liver to do its job better. A healthy liver can neutralize 99% of bacterial toxins during the first pass of filtering. I'm going to say that again. A healthy liver can neutralize 99% of bacterial toxins during the first pass of filtering. Now, I want to say this. For those of us who take communion at church, that is a faith, an act of your faith, to believe God to do that other percent. Our responsibility is 99%, right? If we feed ourselves right, then the liver is going to do its part. The other percentage is when we take communion, we're taking the body and the blood of Jesus to also help combat where we may have missed something. But our responsibility, guys, is not for us to eat a bunch of junk food, eat a bunch of dirty food, and think that we're going to get the results that we're looking for, right? We don't want to do that. I know the first video was very harsh. It was too hard for me to even listen to. And I had to come back and regroup here because I want you all to get the information, share the information, and also hear my heart and hear God's heart for you. God wants us to be a mean, clean, working machine because that's what He intended from the foundation of the world. All right? The liver is the filter that keeps bacteria from entering the blood. Every chemical that goes through the body has to go through the liver before it goes back into the blood. Chemicals I'm talking about, like, you know, there sometimes we come in contact with different bacteria. There are chemicals that we actually eat, And those chemicals come from preservatives in food. Sugar is a type of a chemical. Flour, white flour, is a type of a chemical to the body. But the body also has its own chemical processes, and that's called biochemistry. So, with those processes in the body, we have to feed it properly in order for it to function properly. I'm sure you're wondering, how is it that I'm getting sick like this? How is it that I'm feeling so bad all the time? And it is your food choices. That's all it is. It's your food choices. And when your food choices are bad, when you go to your doctor, they're going to give you a prescription to offset. But what you want to do is get in the rhythm this year after your fast of eating clean, making sure you're feeding yourself properly. And I want to say to you, as you begin to eat clean and take care of yourself, in about 3 months, you probably will be able to go to your doctor and they say, oh, your numbers are looking different. What are you doing differently? And you can say, I'm eating cleaner. I'm eating more nutritious foods. I'm not eating the fast food. I'm um, not loving myself enough, not to take the time to take care of me. We take the time to take care of a lot of people, but sometimes we forget ourselves. Don't do that. Look out for you this year. Your body will thank you for it, and then you will thank you for it. You'll be like, yes, I feel really, really good, because you want to feel that way. hmm The Holy Spirit is the filter for our souls to protect our spirit. That's why once you receive Christ, you are that filter, the Spirit of truth. You begin to feel a little bit bad about some of the things that you're doing, like watching and listening to certain things and even saying certain things. There's a natural and spiritual filter, and both are equally as important. That's why it's important for you to get in the Word, stay in the Word, spend time with God, be with God, pray, worship. Did you know that sometimes you can watch too much or too many talk shows or have too many conversations going on that you need to pull yourself away? Fast those things and exchange them with worship, music, play music, worship music. And I want to say, not music that's going to, as believers, I had to get on somebody like this about this because we were working on a job and I was like, well, you can play some gospel music if you want to, but I call it cry in your misery music. You know, there is some gospel Christian music like that, believe it or not. I'm climbing up the rough side of the mountain, things like that. For the 9 months I carried you, no charge. That music is taking you into a self-pity mode. You want worship where it takes you out of your own self, your own situations that you're facing, and you want music that the lyrics and the words take you into loving on God, because there's an exchange that takes place when you do that. But when you listen to music and feed yourself self-defeating things, it makes you feel worse. So this fast and this season of loving you and loving your liver, so that your liver can show you what it can do for you. Just like when you invite the Spirit of truth in, or the Holy Spirit, did you not know that when you invite him in and ask him questions and he sends you an answer, maybe through his word, or the answer is going to come to you and you're going to know it's right, because it's going to sometimes take you away from doing things that you would normally do. Your liver and the Spirit of truth are going to work with you this year to help you to feel better, spirit, soul, and body. All right. When we mess up or sin, we have a detoxifying word that will cleanse us from all unrighteousness. The easy to read version of John 1:9 says, but if we confess our sins, God will forgive us. We can trust God to do this. He always does what is right. He will make us clean from all the wrong things we have done. Now listen at this. So if there is scripture and God will forgive us, why won't we forgive ourselves? Why won't you forgive yourself for what you've done to yourself this year, or last year, I should say, or in the past? You ask God to forgive you. He will forgive you for what you've done. And then ask him, give me your grace. I need help to eat right. I need help to make right food choices. Okay? If the liver is damaged, toxin levels can increase by tenfold. So listen at this. This is I want to stop right there. If our liver is not able to filter the preservatives, the junk food that we eat, the potato chips, pastas, a lot of foods that we know we eat, a lot of fried food, a lot of fatty foods, anything that the liver cannot manage, then what we're doing is that's where free radicals begin to grow in the body. I told us before in other episodes, free radicals are those cells that have been damaged because the liver can't filter it. The liver can't the liver doesn't have the proper nutrients to go in and fight for the rest of the body, basically. So, what has happened is when you start to feel sick, the reason why you may be on some type of medication, the reason why you may be depressed or have anxiety or having rashes with your skin, having hair loss, having pain in the body, all of this happens because the liver has now been overloaded and it's not able to give the body what it needs, meaning your filter is clogged up. And so, how do we unclog that filter? Let me tell you how. The liver synthesizes and secretes bile, B-I-L-E, through primary and secondary bile acids. These acids are conjugated into what is called bile salts with an amino acid. Amino acids, or complete proteins, are either glycine or taurine. Glycine is found in beans, legumes, fish, dairy products. Now, some people might be lactose intolerant. So, but you still, if you can have cheese, I don't know. There are certain types of cheese, or you can get things that are, I think, because I don't have any of those intolerances. I don't have celiac disease, or I don't have anything. I don't take any medication. So, some things that you may be dealing with, you may have to do research on the types of food. But in that glycine is found in dairy, milk, cheese, eggs. Eggs is a dairy product. So if you can have those things, if you can tolerate those things after the fast, start integrating some of these things: legumes, fish, dairy, and meat. This is where you find those proteins of glycine to help the liver to clean and filter, get your liver, get your body's filtering system to get it cleaned out. Bake your fish, bake your meat, broil your meat. You can even boil some meats to get the proteins and the glycine and what you need out of it and make a soup from it. It's a lot of ways that you can do this to take care of yourself, to begin to detox your body or clean your liver up. Taurine is another protein that the body needs, and that's found in dark meat and fish. Natural taurine is found in meat. It plays a role in our emotions, behaviors, and brain functions. Foods that contain all 9 amino acids are meat, fish, poultry, eggs, dairy, and I want to say to y'all, I know y'all are like, but I'm vegetarian or I'm vegan or I'm pescatarian. I got you. When I wrote this out, God told me. He said people need to know. And I was so harsh in the other video, I wouldn't want to listen to it myself. But I'm changing it. I'm coming to you because I care about you. And I care about me. And I want you to care about you as much as God cares about you. Quinoa, buckwheat, hemp seeds, soybeans, nuts, seeds, beans, brown rice, chickpeas, sunflower seeds, and blue-green algae found in it. You can get that blue-green algae in spirulina. Excuse me. You can get the blue-green algae found in the spirulina, and you can get that from a health food store. But make sure that you get a high quality of spirulina, all right? A quick note, excuse me, guys. You will also find byproducts of taurine in energy drinks, right? I need something to drink. My throat's getting dry. Now listen at this. A lot of people need a quick boost, and so they do the energy drinks, they do the energy shots. I'm asking you to let those go. And this is why. The taurine that's in the energy drinks also are high in sugar or high fructose corn syrup, high in caffeine. And these energy drinks and energy shots can inhibit neurotransmitters. Now, I got a call from somebody that told me that a young man that I knew passed over the holidays. And I think that the main problem with fasting and serving and working and moving about in this life, we lack knowledge on what it is. We believe that there is somebody out there that's going to choose things for us, put it in a package, and tell us, take this. This is good for you. This is going to give you energy, and it has natural ingredients in it. It's not going to hurt you. And so, where we lack knowledge, and that's what God says in Hosea, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of what the world or the enemy will slip in on us and tell us this is good for you, but it's deadly. So this is the energy shots inhibit the neurotransmitters, right? This is what neurotransmitters are. They are chemical messengers. So in the body, there are neurotransmitters that God made, and they are chemical messengers that our body needs and cannot function without. So the energy drink is going to cut off the natural neurotransmitters for the body to function. Now, what these energy drinks will do, they'll give you a high and then they'll give you a low. But when you come on that low, your liver is not able to filter those other products. And so, what the sugar in those drinks will do is cause your system to become acidic. We talked about it in one of the other shows. Our bodies have to remain alkaline in order for us to function properly. If we have too much acid in our body, oh my God, if our body has too much acid, and that's what happened to me because I was eating a lot of fried foods, a lot of sugar, a lot of sugary drinks, ice cream, not necessarily cakes and cookies because that wasn't my thing, but I was eating cough drops every day as my little sugar. That's not hurting me, but it was. So I'm telling y'all, and this is where I get full. This is where I want to cry because we are destroyed for lack of knowledge. We really don't understand what we're doing to our bodies with the things that we choose because it's convenient. It comes in a package, it's quick. Acidosis in the body is this: you're not getting the proper nutrients that you need. Day one. Let's say at day 365, you still haven't changed anything. Actually, your body is making you crave more of this junk. So let's say at day 365, you go to your doctor and they give you medication because your body is acidic. And they're saying this will help that. So now, along with the acidity in the body, that's because you're not eating greens. You're not getting this spirulina or that blue-green algae that the body needs just from eating vegetables. So what we've done now is we've added another acid to our system that the liver cannot filter. So now your free radicals in your body, or those healthy cells, now have turned on you and they are recruiting your good cells that would keep you healthy. And now you have accumulated and recruited. Your body is doing this, but you're doing it to you. So your body is now turning on you because it's becoming acidic. What is happening now? You continue to do the same thing, not but expecting a different result because you got pills from your doctor and you think that's going to give you a different result. But no, you've added more acid to the body. So let's fast forward. We're already at year 1. Let's fast forward 10 years. And every year, you've not changed anything. Again, to keep doing the same thing and expecting different results is called insanity, according to Albert Einstein, because he did those tests in his chemistry lab. And when he did that, he realized, I can't keep doing this. I've got to add something to it, take something away if I want different results. And so with our bodies, we can't add medication for different results. We've got to change our diet. We've got to take something away. Let's say you are a person that you got to have those energy drinks, take them away because now you're going to do something new. You're going to do something different to get the different results. You're stopping the insanity. You're going to pull something away from your diet. You're going to take the sugar away or this fast that you're going to do. And you're basically, with the fast, you are abruptly stopping everything that you once did. This is very serious, guys. And that's how you become acidic, and that's how sickness and disease begins to grow in the body because we are not adding nutritious foods, we're adding prescription drugs or over-the-counter drugs or these energy shots and these energy drinks. We're adding those. We've got to stop because the liver can't handle it and your body is getting sicker and sicker. I hope I'm making sense. I'm hoping that I'm helping somebody right there because in order to change the acidic things in your body, you're going to have to go on what is called an elimination diet, not an add more acid diet. You can't begin to drink alcohol or do more drugs or get in stressful relationships because that's more acid. Your system cannot handle those things. You have to have a fresh salad every day. You have to have some type of vegetable with your meal every day. But let's eliminate some things. I got to keep going. These messengers or these neurotransmitters are chemical messengers that our bodies need and cannot function without. These transmitters carry messages from one nerve cell to the next, as well as to the muscles, glands, and our glands is what produces hormones. When these neurotransmitters are not working, then the brain is getting false signals that can impair mobility. Right there. How many of you all are in wheelchairs or on a walker or you need help and you're young? You're not at the age that your body should be breaking down, but you lack knowledge. Your neurotransmitters now are all over the place. It's like the electrical wiring in an old house that needs to be redone. They pulled that stuff out and put new wiring in. My husband did it in our other house. He did a whole new wiring system, and it was amazing to watch him do that because he's just that brilliant. And he went in, and we even had to get a new junction box to carry the new load of electricity that was coming. Well, you know what? In this life, there are stressors that are new loads for us. And what we're doing, we are putting the wrong stuff in this amazing system, this amazing body that God has given us responsibility over. We're putting the wrong stuff in it. And so now we have to stop because this is what is taking place. We have impaired mobility, and then companies are making money because now what you can do, especially for those of you who are on Medicaid, you can just get one of those mobile machines. Oh, forget me eating clean. I can just get a machine to help to give me more mobility. No, that's not your responsibility to do that. Your responsibility is to tweak what it is that you've been doing all along, because what you've been doing all along is not working. You've got to change something. It even Did you not know that when your neurotransmitters are off, that even you question your sexuality? You don't know who you are as a person. You Now I'm telling you, this is biochemistry. If you really talk to your doctor and they told you the truth, a lot of parents are worried about their children because they don't understand what's going on. It is the food that you're feeding your children. Lord help us. And it is causing a neurological problem there. Ah, yeah, I hear y'all. Some of y'all are saying, no, we're born this way. No, you're shaped this way. You're not born sick. You're not born with a sexuality and identity crisis. That's not something you're born with. You're shaped in that. We're born in sin and shaped in iniquity. This fast, this detox that you're about to embark on, you're going to learn some things here. And I want you to share this with your leaders, share this with your pastors, invite your friends over, and do watch this together. I'm begging you all. That's why I had to change it, because I'm begging you. We don't understand. When I say there's something coming, the thing that's coming is there's going to be more foods produced that are going to kill your liver off. Now, the good thing about the liver and the way the Lord made the liver, the way God made the liver in the liver is the only organ in the body that can renew and rebuild itself. But you've got to stop what you're doing. When your neurotransmitters are off because of the taurine and the glycine in the body that's been tampered with these energy drinks and very bad prepared food, you don't have clear judgment. Why do you think there's so much violence in the world, in our communities? Some things we can pray away, but some things we need wisdom because we lack knowledge. You don't have the ability to think clearly, process clearly, problem solve clearly, get out of a funky mood quickly. All of those things, they're calling that mental illness. But it's just your neurotransmitters are off because of what you're feeding yourself. Your liver is not able to filter what you've given it. And so it's backing up into your system. Your comprehension of information and the body's ability to get the nutrients to the proper places. All of this has something to do from the liver, from detoxing, from doing a proper fast. Look at all the diseases that have come up in the last decade from toxic liver overload, but are given fancy names like autoimmune disorder, just to name one. Think about it. This is a time to pray, think, and get our heads on straight, guys. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. That's what's coming. More poor food that's being prepared for humans. And God is saying, no, I'm sending this lady to you. I'm sending Pause with God, Eating Clean with Francine to you. You can either believe what she's saying to you is true, or you can watch your loved ones die off because of acid overload. And I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to say this. When we lie to ourselves, we're doing ourselves a disservice. If you really lie to yourself and say that you're doing something to make yourself better and you know you're really not, God help us. God help us. Back to the liver making bile. Bile gives our bowel movement its brown color. If your stew is white, tan, or green, then the body is not making enough bile. If we eat our soluble fiber from the oat bran, barley, nuts, seeds, carrots, green beans, Brussels sprouts, chickpeas, regular and sweet potatoes, squash, zucchini, eggplant, okra, avocados, blueberries, bananas, kiwi, oranges, raspberries, strawberries, oatmeal, peanuts, sunflower seeds that help produce the amino acids that are needed for healthy liver function and bowel production. So listen, healthy liver function. That means that you've given your body these nutritious foods that are now going to start cleaning the liver, emptying out that filter. So that now that that filter is clean, now your blood will be able to be filtered and get clean blood going through. Then your body will be able to detox better because now you are changing from poor eating habits to good eating habits. Soluble fiber from eating these foods dissolve in water and turns the fiber-rich foods into a gel, which slows digestion, making us feel fuller, which promotes fermentation and create healthy bacteria in the gut, and makes fermentable fiber or prebiotics. Insoluble fiber does not dissolve in water and causes the bowels to move quicker. We need both, and both soluble and insoluble fiber are in the vegetables that God left in the earth for us. I got to do a shout out right there to him. Father, you are amazing because he loves us. He loves us so, so very much that he wants us to be well, and he wants us to represent him in the earth well. He wants us, when people look on us and say, something's different about you, your life is changing, what is going on with you? Girl, I learned that my liver needs to be fed right. And that's what I'm going to do so I can feel better, so my family can live longer. Mm-hmm. Probiotics are foods or supplements that contain live microorganisms intended to maintain or improve the good bacteria or normal microflora in the body. Problems with low fiber intake. Soluble and insoluble can allow bowel reabsorption and increase toxins to recirculate back into the blood. I'm going to explain that to you, what I just said. When you don't eat these foods that I just listed, and you can stop the video and go back and get the list of foods. But when you don't eat those and your body is acidic because you're not feeding it properly, you're not eating healthy foods, you're not eating nutritious foods, you're not eating whole foods, like foods that are in the produce department, try a new item in the produce department every week. Incorporate that in your diet. The reason why, if you are not getting the fiber that you need to flush out the toxins in the body, to help the liver, the filter of the body, to flush out those toxins, then those things will back up in your system. And that's where sickness and disease comes from. And then the body starts eating on itself. And then the body will say, oh, well, you have healthy heart cells. I need those somewhere else in the body. So now I'm going to start pulling because you're toxic. You're not giving the body anything nutritious. So now the body's going to start pulling on your liver first. Then the liver you don't have any defense. So now that the liver doesn't have anything, well, your heart was healthy, but now the blood is toxic. So that blood that should be filtering clean from the liver that's going to your heart, now it's going to start pulling the strength from the heart. Then you have heart disease. Now, you still won't stop. But maybe the strongest part of your body could be your pancreas. And so because you didn't feed it properly, you gave it too much sugar. You started eating late at night, junk. And so now it's going to start pulling from the pancreas. So now your pancreas is going to be weakened because your liver has now been tampered with because you still are not eating healthy. Do you understand the progression? I'm trying to be very clear this time with what we're doing to our bodies, the disservice that we're doing to the temple of God, where the Spirit of God lives in. He's sending me to tell us, I need you to take care of this temple. I need you, my children, to take care of the temple, this body that I've given you responsibility over. The bile is supposed to break up fat, soluble toxins, and fats in foods. So now, when you eat these foods that I listed, you are giving the liver what it needs to filter and to make bile. That bile assists with pulling the toxins off and flushing them out through your bowels, through the end of your GI tract when you go to the bathroom to eliminate. If this function of the bowel doesn't work, then fat gets into the blood, and this is where toxicity turns into degenerative disease. That's what happened to me. I was acidic and in toxic overload, and cancer tumors began to grow. And because I didn't stop that process of deadly foods, then my body said, "You're not going to stop?" Oh, I know why you didn't stop. Because you didn't even know that cancer had grown in your breast. You didn't feel that tumor in your breast. So now, because you're eating deadly foods and you won't stop, and you know better, but you still won't stop. So now you can't get rid of it. So it's going to grow and it's going to spread. And that's what happened in my body. It spread to a second location. And my lymph nodes tried to flush it out, but I kept eating sugar and fried foods and greasy foods and sugary foods and white flour and white rice and white noodles. I kept doing it month after month, year after year. And then cancer came. Guys, but God, when the doctor told me you have stage 2 breast cancer, meaning it started in one place and now it's moved to another place, and we want to give you chemo. And I said, my husband said, no, we're not doing chemo. And the Spirit of Truth said no. And God told me when I started crying out of control, because how could this happen to me? How could this happen to me? I did it to myself. You're doing it to yourself. Your loved one that recently died did it to themselves. That's harsh, but it's true. It's true, guys. This is true. I did it to myself. And when I cried out to God for help, He said, shut your mouth. Don't come crying to me about how did this happen to you. He said, sit up. And then He did like He always does and what He'll do for you. He said, come and sit at my right hand while I make this enemy of food. I'm going to make this enemy of poor food choices your footstool. And He did. And I am cancer free. But I had to have somebody go in and do surgery to remove the tumors. But I never did chemo. I never did radiation. I am 6 years in of being cancer free, people. Why? Because God told me, go back to the basics. Go back to eating the foods that I originally left in the earth, that are in the produce section, that are come in packages that you can cook yourself. Beans. Cook your own beans. You know those sweet beans that we like, that come in the can, that we cook out with in the summer? They're full of sugar. Why can't you get your own kidney beans and make your own baked beans yourself? Why don't you try doing that? Why don't you try this year cooking your own food? I can feel my righteous indignation coming on. And the reason why it's there is because we are destroyed for lack of knowledge. If you read your word, you will see it in Hosea 6. He says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Why? Because you have rejected knowledge. So God is saying, I have no choice but to reject you, because I can't help you if you won't listen to me. I'm sending somebody to you to help you. Either you will take the information or you won't. But I'm begging you. I am begging you. This fast that you're about to embark on, let it be a fast for the rest of your life of eating clean. This is the fast. And watch your whole life turn around. Listen, when I followed the leading of the Spirit of God and changing how I ate, June 15th, 2018, when I changed that, not only did those neurotransmitters began to work properly, I could manage my money better. I understood relationships better. I understood how to move forward in life better. My husband and I were able to move from 1,200 square feet to 3,700 square feet because I understood my responsibility as his helpmate. Y'all, if you want better, if you want different, you've got to tweak your system and what it is that you're doing. The body can make and should make 1 quart of bowel fluid a day. Hence, drinking the 8 ounce glasses of water a day plays a vital role in detoxing the liver and staying healthy during a fast. Do y'all not know that all night last night, whenever I woke up, I was coughing and getting this phlegm out of my body, because that is one of the natural systems of the body when you get sick, whether it be with the flu or COVID or a cold. That's why there's no cure for the common cold, because that cold in the body, you know what it does? It actually is making you cough. It's making your nose run. It's making your drainage systems in the body produce that phlegm. Why? Because that mucus clumps the bacteria, because that's another filtering system in the body. It's clumping that bacteria in that mucus, in that cold, in that snot. And when you blow it out, it's pulling out the bacteria. That's why you can't take over-the-counter medication a lot, prescribed medication a lot, antibiotics a lot, because you're stopping the body's normal flow. But there are natural antibiotics. Did you know that watermelon seeds, those little black things that look like little bugs, they are natural antibiotics. So when you eat watermelon, eat the seeds. It's a natural antibiotic. Oh, guys, all right. When we allow some, not all doctors, to give us their options for their diagnosis, the first thing we must do is ask to have time to think about the option given. Like when you go to the doctor because you're eating wrong, and you're not sitting there telling the doctor, this is what I've eaten for the last month. Can you tell me what this has done to me? We're not doing that. We're not going to the doctor's office with a list of what we've been feeding ourselves. We're going in with a list of symptoms. So then when he tells you, this is my diagnosis and this is the prognosis, this is what I want you to do, take these pills. Can you just say, can I think about it before I get this prescription? And is there a diet or an eating plan that you can give me for this diagnosis? And if they're not able to do that, then what you should do is go home, get on your computer, not look up the diagnosis, but look up foods that heal the diagnosis. That's your responsibility, to look up foods that heal the diagnosis that you've been just given by your doctor. One of the things, cut out those energy drinks, cut out the sugar, cut out the fried foods. Yeah. When you get home from your diagnosis, you must spend time with God in prayer, in worship. Cry a little bit. You can cry while you're worshiping Him, because He's cleansing you even right then. He's cleansing the things that you've been doing. He's helping you even then when you go into worship. God, I'm sick. You got to tell Him the truth. A lot of people act like God already knows what's wrong with me. That's the toxicity in your brain from the neurotransmitters that have been hit and defective. When you pop off with God like that, I ain't thinking about God. Who is He? I have people in my life right now that say that. But I recognize it's your alcohol-induced life that will do that. Your neurotransmitters are off. You can't think clearly. And I get it and I understand it. So it's no need for us to be angry with people when they don't do us right or do things to us or we don't understand. It's because they're toxic. Why are you popping off? Because you're toxic. I'm going to keep going. Whew. Don't ever do research on the diagnosis, please. Do research on the healing of what you can do, what foods you can eat for the healing. If the doctor says you have cancer, that's what I did. God told me. He said, come sit at my right hand. I'm going to show you. We're going to make this enemy your footstool. What do? I was told when I was diagnosed, if you are diagnosed with cancer, do research on healing, not research on cancer. That was the best information that I could have ever gotten. So whatever your diagnosis is right now, as of today, do research on the healing if you have gallbladder disease, if you have cancer. Do research first on the foods that you can eat that will bring healing. And I will promise you that you'll find out that every seed, every nut, every fruit, every vegetable, every bean, every lentil, every meat that God made, the dairy products that people are trying to get us to stop taking, all of those things healed cancer and healed every degenerative disease that you may be dealing with. Next, the fasting and detoxing of the liver disassembles unwanted chemical compounds such as household chemicals and cleaning products, drugs, pesticides that kill and repel certain forms of animal, insect, and plant life, and herbicides that control or destroy weeds or other unwanted vegetation that are used to protect food sources but not to protect the humans that consume the food. Now, we're getting a lot of pesticides and herbicides to kill off, the insects and the weeds that grow around the vegetation that the farmers bring to the grocery store, right? Well, those herbicides and pesticides don't protect us. They actually do damage to the liver. So if you can, buy organic. I used to say, no, I don't buy organic, but I realize more and more, yeah, we need organic. But if you can't afford organic, guess what you should do? Make sure you keep baking soda in your house. When you bring your fruits and vegetables home, soak them in baking soda water. Soak. Let them sit in that water. Rinse that off, then rinse it off again. That will kill off the herbicides and pesticides, okay? Yeah, that's how you do that. For those of you who don't buy organic, can't afford organic, because it is expensive. All right. Research has shown that a lot of pesticides and herbicides are also killing healing herbs and spices that grow. I'm going to give you this example. Dandelions are such an herb that grows and is killed off so that our lawns and golf courses can give a good appearance, right? Dandelions are the little yellow flower. When I was a little girl, we would pick them and put them at the bottom of our chin because they would reflect off of our chins, right? And so that dandelion, actually, even the root of it can be eaten and kill off the bacteria because it's feeding your liver. Yeah. Buy you some dandelion tea to help you in your fast. When one of the things that you should drink when your leader or whoever is telling you to go on a fast, one of the things, get you some dandelion tea. It's going to help detox that liver quicker. Take care of your liver. It's the brains of the body. It is, because if your liver is toxic, this brain right here ain't gonna function properly. I promise you, if you change your children's diet and incorporate more good herbs, you go to the store and you get the different herbs. Get some chamomile tea if you can't sleep at night. Get you some, let's see, rosemary. Make your kids some rosemary tea. Put a little bit of honey in it if they're old enough to have honey. It's going to help them to retain information. That's what I've done. Yeah, since I'm in school. I just keep rosemary there and I just smell it and it helps me to remember. It's a lot of things that God made out there that we don't know because we lack knowledge. Do research, guys. All right. Um, Let me see where I am. Another thing that we do when we go in the grocery store, we pass the produce aisle because it takes too long to prepare the foods that's in the produce section. Or we just don't like the way certain vegetables taste, or we eat out at fast food restaurants weekly instead of saving our money. During the fast, you're going to save your money because you're not going to eat out, you're going to cook your own food. You're going to do that. I know in the last video that I did with this, I said some things, but I'm not going to go there. I'm gonna keep this as straightforward as I can because I want you to share this with your leadership, with your friends, with your family members, because this is serious. We're doing more damage to our bodies than we think. And yet we go and we love God. We do. We're in church every time the doors are open. And we love God so much, but we're not seeing the results that we should. We're serving in ministry and dying. We're serving in ministry and being diagnosed with the worst diseases that are out there. We're serving God and yet sick? That doesn't make sense, does it? The one who created the body, who created all this fabulous food, but his people are the ones that are sick. All right. In Psalms, at that point, it would say Selah. Stop and think about that for a minute. Pesticides, herbicides, and endotoxins are very similar. Endotoxins are in the body. So listen at this. All of these things, herbicides, pesticides, and endotoxins, they keep invaders out, right? Pesticides keep the bugs off, the weeds out. Herbicides do the same thing. But endotoxins do the same thing in the body. They're in the liver. Check this out. This is what they do. Endotoxins are membrane compounds or a thin sheet of tissue or layer of cells acting as a boundary, lining, or a partition in our organisms in the body. It's a double layer of lipids or fats and proteins that bound cells and organelles and form structures within the cells. So endotoxins protect the cells, and they add another layer of fat if we're not detoxing the liver properly. So then more fat is added to the liver. When the liver gets fat, then the blood gets fat. Then our bodies get bigger. You understanding? There's a progression here of poor nutrition. Then the liver is detoxing the immune system and blood. The other systems in the body are still trying to function. While the liver is doing what it's supposed to do, the other systems are trying to do what they're supposed to do, but they can't do what they're supposed to do because the liver can't do what it's supposed to do because of poor diet. The endocrine system, which by the way uses the hormones to control, coordinate our body's internal metabolism or energy level, and this is called homeostasis. This is what we're after. We're after homeostasis. We're after the body taking care of itself properly. Consider the following hormones connection to detoxifying the body. The body needs to eliminate used hormones. Did you know that that's what a woman's cycle is about? When a woman has a menstrual cycle, we are getting rid of hormones that have been used in the body that are no longer, they've been used, and now there's waste product. That waste product is in a woman's body our menstrual cycle. How many of us, our menstrual cycle has been tampered with surgery? Hysterectomies. Hysterectomy causes hysteria. Why? Causes a lot of people to get depressed, causes a lot of people to have a lot of emotional issues, emotional problems. Why? Because the neurotransmitters have been messed with, the hormones have been messed with. The hormones can't release and flush out of the body the way that they should. The sun is shining, coming around and shining on my face. So I'm going to quickly finish this. The body needs to eliminate used hormones. If these are not detoxed, then these hormones will build on themselves and get larger and misshaped, which create problems for the immune system and confuse cells. In other words, cancers and degenerative diseases. See, I was diagnosed with cancer when I was 61, but I had a hysterectomy at the age of 30. Where'd all of those dead cells go? I could cry because I didn't know, but I want you to know. I want you to stop crying. I want you to feel better. The liver is looking at all the entrances. The liver is looking at all that enters the body in a split second that we put in our mouth, or chemicals that we're in contact with. And is sorting and filtering the chemicals, drugs, alcohol, sugars, caffeine, preservatives, white flour products, sweet treats, candies, gravies, sauces, herbicides, pesticides, toxic self-defeating thoughts, prescription medications, poor water, food dyes, hair chemicals, chemotherapy, growth hormones in some animal production plants, hormone replacement therapies that some are derived from female horse urine. Hormone replacement therapy, some of those medications that you can take for menstrual problems, it comes from horse urine. Do your research on that. Metal toxicity, and the list can go on and on. The liver is trying to work harder and harder to filter the self-abuse that we're doing to it. And we can now see why detoxing is important. The toxins that we ingest, some unknowingly, but most of the time knowingly, are killing us and having harmful effects on our bodies. And now we know. Now we know. This information today, now you know. You cannot say that you don't know anymore. You can't. Now you know. what's happening in your body. We must be sure we get our fruits and veggies from organic sources as much as possible, or soak our fruits and vegetables. Some fungus can come from many food sources, but even with the fungus that comes from the food sources, there's something that we're starting to do. And this is something that the Lord showed me. For those of us who are lazy, and we're trying to what would that be? Multitask. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get we're trying to get extra time in our day. So we allow somebody else to shop for us. So we call the store and they have their food shoppers for us. But did we know that a lot of times young people don't know how to pick out food for us? They don't know how to pick out a bag of potatoes and look at those potatoes and see that there may be mold spores on those potatoes. Because, a lot of food manufacturers now are not manufacturing what we need for I'm gonna move my camera, not manufacturing the food the way that they should, right? They're not. They are. I remember when I was a little girl, very rarely did you see bruised fruit or bruised vegetables. Well, that's starting to take place, and a lot of young people that are doing the shopping for us with these grocery shopping services, they don't know, and some of them don't really care. That's their job. They're just going through the store. They're not looking at the dates on eggs or on milk or on cheese or on butter or anything in the frozen food department. They're not checking the dates. Have you noticed that a lot of grocery stores, for those of you who still shop like I do for myself, I found out that a lot of these stores are leaving a lot of expired products on the shelf for those shoppers and for those people who are going to shop for you, for those of you who can shop for yourself, but you're not shopping for yourself. And then when the stuff comes to your house, you're all excited. You don't even check the dates on stuff. You're not even checking to see if some of the foods that you're buying, like bags of peanuts that you can cook for yourself, a couple of years ago, those things were so moldy because at some point the earth was so saturated with water and the peanut farmers were not picking those peanuts fast enough. And so then those peanuts got moldy. Do you know that will affect? That's a toxin going in your body. Please, please, y'all, for this fast and what you're doing this year, 2024, this video is to help you to get on track for the rest of your life because it's helping me. My liver says, will you love me? Your liver is saying, will you love me this year? Will you please just love me this year? Stop pretending that you're not feeling bad. Stop, can all of us do this? Can we tell ourselves the truth? Can we stop lying to ourselves and saying, oh, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do? If you were, your results would be different. I know when I had cancer and was scared I was going to die and did exactly what God told me, I had the results I was looking for. Cancer stopped growing and spreading in my body. And every test that I do, the years that I go back to get my mammogram and my MRIs and have to be put in that machine, it comes out the same results that I was looking for at the very beginning. I am cancer free. So we can pretend and say, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're going to get the results that you're looking for. That's all I can say. If you're really being honest with yourself and doing what you are really supposed to be doing, you're going to get the results that you're looking for. In conclusion, when we don't have a bowel movement or exercise to push out toxins or get over-the-counter or prescribed medication, we're stopping the body's natural way to eliminate toxins. Exercise, drinking lots of water, eating clean every day, having healthy thoughts, we're going to get the results that we're looking for. But when we don't, then we're not. I hope that this information will help you in your seasons of fasting and detoxing and will help you eat clean even after the fast and detoxing. I want to say to y'all this. One of the things that I learned that my body will do. I learned this myself. All the years that I was fasting with my church, I noticed that after a while, people say it's old age and you get bigger, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that we get bigger. I believe that what's going on is we don't look at eating right as a lifestyle. We look at the fast as, God, I'm glad this fast is over and now I can eat what I want. But what has happened, your body is so smart and you starved it during the fast. You did the fast. Some of you did, some of you didn't. That's another reason why you're not having victory. I could go on and on with this system that God has in place. But once we come off the fast, then the body is so smart, it's saying, you're not going to starve me again. So I'm going to make you eat and gorge in food and overeat. Have you noticed? Have you noticed that about yourself? You're eating foods that you would normally eat and eating more of it. It is because you didn't take this seriously. The fast. The fast was to prepare you for change so that when the next fast comes the following year, you'll be ready and you'll be slimmer and it'll be easier for you to just go right back in it. So I hope this information will help you in your seasons of fasting and detoxing and will help you to eat clean even after the fast is over. That is the end of this video. It is an hour and 21 minutes, 22 minutes long. Please share this. Please hear my heart. Please hear God's heart for us. This is very serious. This is very, very, very serious. Make your juice. Eat your fruits and vegetables so you can get that fiber. Cook your own food. Prepare. Do your meal planning for this year. Make sure that you cook your food more than you eat out. And when you do eat out, eat on special occasions. And on those special occasions, go to a very expensive restaurant where they have a trained chef because they're going to prepare your food better for you. So I want to say to you, happy 2024. I hope that this is more peaceful, more calm for you to take because it was very rough for me to even take. So I want to say I love you guys. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. This is your year. 2024 is the year of obeying God and seeing the results that you are looking for. Because I'm going to finish school this year and I'm going to finish strong. And I want to tell y'all, if y'all want me to come and speak to your congregation, I will be doing some workshops at my shop in Newport News this year. If you want to participate in those workshops, learn how to juice, learn what to juice, I have over 104 episodes of juicing, so you don't even have to pay to come to the workshops. Just look at those shows. Guys, this is Francine Douglas, pausing with God. Eat clean this year, and the best is yet to come. God bless you.